Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be opening a few Ruby Red dolls, including one of the latest releases, Dolores. And it's been a while since I've recorded a Ruby Red unboxing. It's not because I haven't been ordering any dolls. It's because I've been busy and they've been accumulating. And the dolls that I'm opening today are not the only ones I have to open. It's just the only ones I have time to open. But if I keep waiting until I have enough time, they're just going to keep piling up and piling up. Plus, there are always more on the way. So having said that, let me start in with the first doll I mentioned, Dolores, who is a limited edition doll. She was put up for pre-order, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago now, maybe back in May, I think. And you had 2 weeks to order her. That's how long she was available for. And so however many number were made were based on how many were ordered. And it's been a while since I've unboxed one, so I'm kind of going through it. So it says 200 limited edition. That's how many were made. Seems a little, they must have gone a little bit over, because how could you have such a perfect number for dolls based on, what would you say, on pre-orders and not a specified number? And to anyone who is a little rusty like I am, they come with a limited certificate of authenticity. She's number 150. There's going to be a rubber band, an anti-slip band to put her on her head to hold on her wig, because limited edition dolls aren't wigged. And then the outfit comes separately. There's going to be a hat in here, boots, which are very nice. I haven't seen it because I'm busy. I haven't seen any unboxings or anything like that of hers. I think I've seen pictures of her from collectors, and I'm hoping I can. All right, there's a picture to assemble her, because I'm an amateur now. So here she is inside the box. Her head is behind this little TV box in here. And it's a Luca sculpt. Now, something interesting about the Luca sculpt is it originally was used for boy dolls. And I always thought, when I looked at Luca, the dolls with the sculpt, I always thought, oh, that doll must be really pretty as a girl. And here we go. She is. And so when I saw that there was a female doll being released around the time I started collecting, or got heavy into collecting, I thought the timing was perfect, because I would have liked to see Luca as a female sculpt. I'm trying to remember what's the best order to do this, because as I said, it's been a while. You know what? Let me get the noisy stuff out of the way. Like the tissue, because everything's wrapped in tissue. And the only reason I cut it, even though I'm not going to try to keep it in good condition, I find it makes the least amount of noise when I'm recording. Because when I have to cut everything back, I hate hearing all that tissue paper. So let me try to quietly get that out of the way. And so the outfit has a lot of layers. Okay, so this goes under the dress. I'm like, are these two different outfits? I don't know if you could see if it's picking up all the shimmery. There's like a shimmery thread going through it. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a slip or just an undergarment, but it's really nice. They're always high quality, especially their limited edition outfits. These would probably be thigh-high socks. And then this is the main part of the dress that you'll see. And sometimes, because it's all folded up inside, it could use a little bit of a steaming, but I'm not about to do all that on here. I can barely handle what I have just dressing them. And then this would be a crinoline, I think you would call this, right? It looks like a crinoline. It's to give it a little bit of poof to the dress, which I always appreciate, because dolls want to be poofing, right? That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. And then the boots are really cute. There's a sort of a pointed toe. There are fake leather lace-ups and hard sole on the bottom. She's a historical looking, like her. I don't know eras. It doesn't say, I don't think, where she was from, but she looks historical nonetheless. And I'm already looking around at my displays to see where she would go best, because I like to change my displays around now, putting different dolls featured at different times in different areas. And the hat comes out a little bit misshapen, but just so if you want to see the details, lace going around here, some flowers, and I guess you would tie it around her neck. But in the certificate, she's not wearing the hat, she's wearing the headband. I prefer the hat look, so I may try this on her, the headband, and then just keep her displayed with the hat on. And cute little things that are in here is a pair of gloves, fingerless lace gloves, that also need to be tied up. So I'm going to be cutting in and out a lot, because I don't think you need to see me be doing all that. And then this is the headband that they've got her displayed with in their certificate. Some little ribbons hanging down, and a choker. That's a hook and eye closure. Those are never fun to put on, so I anticipate more fun trying to get that together. And I do think it's best to put the wig on after you dress the dolls. So I'll show you the wig when I get to that portion. Because as I said, you know, she's got to be dressed. And then I put away the scissors. You know, I was gonna de-plastic the doll, and then I thought, let's look at the outfit first. So I don't think you need to see me putting the dress on her. So let me just show you how cute she looks when she's all dressed up. You know what? I guess when you just go in the zone of dressing a doll and aren't sitting here talking to your camera or talk to yourself in your living room, it goes a lot more easily. So this was actually the easiest time I've ever had dressing a ruby red doll. Is that the secret? Not recording these? And now I've saved the worst parts that are going to be bad whether I'm silent or not, and that's just tying up these silly little ribbons on her gloves, which do look cute once they're tied up. It's just, wouldn't it have been nice if it was a factory ribbon or a bow? And I also decided since I'm saving the hardest parts, I might as well show you how the choker goes on her. I don't anticipate it being easy. Even this was a hook and eye closure, the top part of her dress, and I struggled because I couldn't even tell what the hoop was. The thread, I couldn't tell where they put it, so I was trying to put it through one of the stitches in the ribbon, so glad you weren't here for that. But anyway, so now I anticipate this part sucking, being very terrible to put on. So join me as I embarrass myself and probably will give up. But anyway, the thing that I was saying I hate about hook and eye closure, am I saying that right? Is that, oh, you know what? This one doesn't look too bad. I'm saying that to jinx myself, obviously. Yeah, okay. See, wow, she's so far been the easiest time I've ever had dressing a ruby red doll. And I'm saying that because I've had such struggles with these chokers that I don't even remember if I showed the struggles or not. Anyway, that was easy. So I digress. And I don't see the, oh, I guess it's random because they usually have this, lately they've had this heart engraving on the back of their head that said RRFF, I think, inside it. Now, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Get the anti-slip band over her head. I mean, it's easy, so it's not that I expect it to be hard, but you know, you think something's gonna be hard, and then you do it, and it's not. So therefore, is it gonna be the opposite? Because I think the opposite. I think the other trick I learned was not putting it so low so that you can't, so that you are able to hide it. And she's got these beautiful long ringlet curls, which is, I think I thought her hair was a bit more red, but it's pretty brown. Maybe it's a gingery brown. So let me bring it close so you can see the long, beautiful spiral curls that could have been already attached to her head, but I'm starting to, I kind of understand the allure of them having removable wigs, but I understand it in almost a bad way. It makes me, because being able to customize your dolls very easily makes you want to customize your dolls because it's so easy. And then I kind of become indecisive about how I want certain dolls to look. And I've, over the last couple months, as I've had all these dolls, I've been experimenting with their looks a little bit sometimes. And so the real bad thing, aside from wanting to change their looks all the time and almost want multiples if you get to like a look, is that you will always question yourself if you've got it placed right or not. Almost like, is this how it's supposed to look? Did I get it the right way? To the right. Is it going to be like low enough on her forehead? Looks good. I think it's right. Ooh, okay, there we go. Her curls have different lengths, so I have to try to make sure they're placed properly. This is a very pretty doll. Cute and pretty. Like, she looks, because I find the Luca sculpt looks very young, but then I guess on a female, very pretty. So let me bring her close now. I don't know if I've got her wig low enough on her forehead, so she may look a little off. But here you go. Pretty one, right? And she's very unique in a good and bad way. Good way is in, it's nice to have dolls that look different, but also, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to put her. And I think I was talking about a little bit before that when I said I'm changing around my displays a lot, meaning I'm changing around the dolls that go in and out of them. And so, because I do have quite a few different doll lines in my doll room right now. So it's just a way to see different things at different times. And then it's like every time I put some dolls away, like if I put my American Girl dolls away, for example, and I bring some back out, I'm like, oh, new dolls. That's how we trick ourselves. And they do stand freely, but sometimes these bodies are a little bit tricky to maneuver because there's this really tight string that goes through their whole bodies. They're ball jointed, and then like sometimes even moving their heads, they don't hold a position because the string is so tight that it just snaps everything back. So this would be a plastic headband with fabric sewn around it. So this, what you're seeing here is actual fabric, and then ribbons are hanging off it. And like I said, this is how they have her displayed, how they have her pictured on the certificate, but I like the hat better. So before I put the hat on her, oh yeah, I know. I was like, how are you gonna hide that bun or put it over the bun? It should be fine. And I think I'm a little bit farther from the camera than I should be for this size of doll, so hopefully you can see her. And like I said, I'm not crazy about the headband look. Even from the promo shots, I didn't expect I would want to keep it that way. But what's unfortunate is that when they, have these in a box, they become a little bit misshapen. I guess you tie this, right? Yeah, you would tie it. It's like no confidence because it's not how she's wearing it on the certificate. She's got a little bit of a, I don't know, Little Bo Peep kind of vibe, even though they have a doll that really looks like Little Bo Peep. And like I said, I always regret not having a factory tied bow because I'm not the greatest at tying them. I feel like my fingers suddenly become like twice as fat whenever I'm trying to tie a bow. Yeah, definitely prefer the hat look. So let me bring up to you. You could decide for yourself which one you prefer. Isn't she so pretty? And as I'm sitting here trying to figure out where I want to display the dolls, I was originally going to show you my display with all the dolls, like do a display tour, which is coming up. It's just going to be a little bit longer now because it's taken me a while to catch up on my dolls. And I don't think if you want to see this, here you go. And on the back. And I'll put her off to the side because, as I said, I have a few dolls to share. One is the doll I'm going to get to next is a doll I bought myself. I could tell she was falling forward before I even tried. Is a doll I bought myself for my birthday, which was 2 months ago. It's like almost the middle of July now, and my birthday's in the middle of May. And a lot's been going on, like travel-wise, summer-wise, and just having other videos to do wise. Does that make sense? So I haven't had a chance even to just show the rest of the stuff I got. I use my birthday as an excuse to buy more stuff as if I need to. So this doll, I've already opened him and I've had him on display, but I want to share the story behind it because when I bought this doll, it was such a good deal that I thought, it was bordering on too good to be true because this is a limited edition doll, anniversary doll that came out last year, I believe, 2024. And I found it on a Facebook group. The person was super duper nice. She even said, I'm just to thank people for buying my dolls, I'm giving them free shipping. And I was like, you're selling this for less than retail and giving free shipping? And I was paying through PayPal, so I wasn't worried like that. I was just like, there must be something wrong with this doll. Like, why is she selling this doll that I've been looking for so cheap? And so when he arrived, there are a couple things about when he arrived. One, I didn't want to wait until the unboxing because I was like, this is too good to be true. What's going to be going on inside this box? And another thing was I bought this from an American collector and I'm in Canada. And because of the tariff situation, there's a little bit to explain about the tariff situation here. So if I'm ordering something from China, Canada doesn't pay, we don't pay tariffs on Chinese products, but we do pay tariffs on American products, which means if I'm buying something from America that was made in China, there aren't tariffs. But the customs forms have to be filled out correctly so that customs knows it's a Chinese product and not an American product, which I explained to the seller. I just said, on the customs form, just make sure that you check off that it's a Chinese, made in China, not made in America. And that way I won't have to pay the extra 30%. And she said, oh yeah, I got it, no problem. And then I received the doll and I had to pay a lot to receive him. And I thought, well, what's going on with the customs form? And guess what she forgot to fill in? where the product was made. It's not that she put it was made in America. She didn't put anything. So I was like, okay, that sucks. Should I keep this and go dispute it and just let them know it's a Chinese made product? But then I looked more closely at the customs form. And for some reason, they charged they charged the customs on only half the value of the doll, which means I ended up paying the same in tariffs that I would have on just customs alone. I don't know if the math is making sense to you. So it was like I couldn't dispute it because I would have had to pay the same amount, but I would pay the 15%, well, 13% on the entire amount of the product instead of 30% on half of it. So bizarre. So it was just like, okay, you know what? It's the same amount if they had gotten me with customs, and it's kind of a lottery thing when it comes through Canada Post, or the USPS to Canada Post. It's kind of a lottery. And so it was like, okay, fine, I'll just pay this, and as long as the doll's in there, I'm fine. And she said it came with the box and everything, like the box that I just showed you that were hers, but that wasn't in there, and that wasn't an issue. But she had everything inside this silk bag, is what they call it. And these are an anniversary doll thing. They come in this, I think it's if you want to take photos of your doll, you know, you want to take them on the go with you, you put them in this bag, which, I mean, I don't care about that. I understand other people do, so I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's not really important to me. So instead of having a box, it had the bag, fine. And then I was really, like I said, afraid to open the bag here because it was like too good to be true. Not that I didn't think the doll was going to be in here, but just like, what kind of condition was he in? And guess what? He was in pretty brutal condition. You're seeing him after the fact, and that's why I'm glad I didn't open him on here, because I would have been devastated and I wouldn't have wanted to have recorded that reaction. So what had happened was this doll comes with 2 wigs, and he's a redhead doll. That's why he was top of my wish list, because I love redhead dolls. And he comes with a silver wig, which I didn't care. I don't care about silver-haired dolls. But what had happened was the previous collector had glued on his wig. So let me just show you the doll, and then I'll continue the story as I talk a little bit, show a little bit more about him and the way he is. So she had glued the wig, which was already bad because now the wig, I think it was this wig, the red one. No, I think it was actually the silver one, was all crusty with glue. And he had this line going across his forehead. And I didn't know if it was a gash. I didn't know if it was like, you know, he had smacked something or scraped up against something. And so I was just like hitting the panic button all over the place. Like, did she know? Because the pictures were not very clear and they looked like they were old. And she said, you know, this is an old picture. I have him on my Instagram, etc. Whatever. I'm just saying, when I got him, he was in pretty rough shape. So I had to, luckily, I think it was just glue that was along his forehead. Oh, I could still feel it a little bit, but there's no visible evidence of there being some kind of, I think she had a hard time gluing the wig down. And at least I learned from the experience of getting this doll, because I was playing with the idea of gluing down some of my doll's wigs. And so now I won't because, you know, you run the risk of mucking up the doll and the wig. So I had to clean the wig really carefully. Let's just put it that way. It took a couple of days to get all the glue out of the wig, because it wasn't just that it was crusty underneath the wig where it was glued to his head. It had streaked in his hair, into the hair part of the wig. So I was really disappointed in this doll when I opened him up. But now that I've, you know, cleaned him up and everything, he is so cute. And I could say one of my favorites about any of my dolls, but he's one of my favorites. And he's from the 1950s, so I have him set up in some of, you know, for the time being, how I was saying I switch my dolls around. He's set up currently in Mary Ellen's living room, meaning the pieces from her living room. And like I said, what I said earlier was that I don't care about his silver hair. So I think because he came with it on and I had to clean it, I had spent so much time cleaning it up. I don't remember which one it was now, to be honest. But by the time I tried on the silver wig, oh yeah, it came with the band, but it wasn't even on his head because everything was glued on. I'm trying to remember which one it was by feeling it. But regardless, it was the silver one. I remember now from the way it looks. But anyway, what I was saying was, once I put the silver wig back on him after it was cleaned up, I realized I preferred him with the silver hair. So that was kind of a bonus and unexpected, because I don't really like silver-haired dolls, especially if because these look like kids. So my brain kind of goes, why is his hair silver? But my brain, having to look for some kind of reason, sees it as almost like he looks very anime. And I've talked about this before, that they kind of remind me of characters from Final Fantasy games. Such stupid nonsense I'm talking about. So I kind of see him as like a baby anime character, maybe. So I've actually kept him with this silver wig. That's how I display him in, I'm saying Mary Ellen's world, because I have him on display with another 1950s character in her furniture in her living room. And another thing that is a nice little bonus of having him is I have him in this cute 1950s getup, but I also have this other outfit for this 15-inch doll, because that's the other thing too, is he's the part of the 15-inch doll line, not the 14-inch, so he's bigger than she is. And To anyone who saw when I opened the 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 boy outfit, I had ordered the one that came with blue. And they accidentally sent me the one for the 15-inch doll, and it didn't fit my Alex doll who I bought it for. And then they just, when I told them, they sent it to me for free. And so when I unboxed stuff for my birthday opening video, I explained that. So now I'm actually going to go off camera and put it on him because I haven't seen it on him yet to see how he looks with this outfit, but that's something I've been wanting to see, so we can see it together. Even though this is the doll I think they use in the stock photos, but still, it's different in person, so give me a sec. Okay, I've got the patient prepped for redressing, which means I can show you his outfit up close now, and I love these shoes. But keep in mind, they're very big because these are the 15-inch dolls, so everything just looks big. They're like a faux leather, 1950s saddle shoes? Is that what they're called? Oh, I forget. I used to know what they were called for sure. These sunglasses are amazing because they're metal and they're shaped. Everything about them is like real sunglasses. So they've got the actual lenses and frames in there. And you just have to expand them a bit to put them on top of his big head. And his undershirt, I never noticed how soft it was until I was redressing him. It's like a really it's like a micro cotton, really stretchy, and just feels really high quality. And then bowling shirt. You know what I mean? This kind of shirt that has like a bowling style, at least that's what we would call it in the modern day, but I think back then they just called it a shirt. And then his pants are boot cut, which I don't know enough about 50s fashion to know if that's, I mean, I'm sure it's accurate, and they probably had to get instead of those big shoes. And like a faux leather belt, fake leather belt. This jacket here that he was wearing in the beginning, but I don't really like the jacket on him. It doesn't feel like it goes with the outfit to me, because like if you look at the pants, it's like they match but not quite enough, and that's probably accurate, but what would I know? And now that I've got him undressed, I can show that the body of the 15-inch doll is quite different. They're a little bit taller. The body's more muscular because the body of the female dolls and Alex, well, the older boy dolls, I shouldn't say just Alex, the chests aren't quite as flat. Like they kind of have a little bit of a they stick out a little bit. Let me put it that way. And these are a little bit more flatter, so there's a bit more of, I don't know, muscular definition. And same thing goes, the bodies are all stiff due to the strings inside. And I put him back in his red wig because in this outfit, I don't know if the silver would really suit it that much. So I just finally get to see him in this outfit. I don't know if it's going to fit over his underwear. Do the boys, I'm trying to think of Tom, because Tom's the only other 15-inch boy doll I have. And I don't know if he has these underwear on. I don't think he does, but these, it's kind of, okay, I was really worried that the shorts weren't going to go over it. Oh, it fits so different from Alex. When I put it on Alex, the 14-inch boy, 14.5-inch maybe, he was literally swimming in these. So I was quite disappointed that I got the wrong outfit, but that disappointment turned into major excitement when they just sent me a replacement. So how can you complain, right? I don't mean to sound like I was. Accidents happen. So anyway. Okay, this definitely looks, color-wise, looks a lot better on him than it did on Alex as well when I tried this on. And I don't think I didn't even have this on my wish list when the two outfits were introduced. And this is the other funny thing. So the shoes, when I put them on Alex, can they slide on him? Okay, they still can. But with Alex, he could have kicked them off. And now I have a modern day Nicholas. Have I even said his name yet? I think I did in the beginning. Well, if I haven't, it's Nicholas. And then a big toque for his bigger head. Maybe it's even too big for his big head. I have it on, right? Yeah. Anyway, so here's modernized Nicholas, in case you're curious. And this is how this is how this outfit is supposed to look on a doll, as opposed to anyone who saw it in my previous videos. Oh, you know, the beanie, I think you would call it. I call it a toque. Looks really cute on camera, so maybe I just have to adjust to it. So I'm going to display him like this for a while because he's been wearing his meat outfit, starter outfit, default outfit for the last 2 months. Like I said, I've had this doll for that long, but I just wanted to experience some of it on camera. And his certificate is here. He's number 50 of, does it say how many? 2024 special edition. Anyway, this is the doll. This is, as you can see, this is how he came. And I don't see how many were made. I think my problem is I don't really, only 90 were made. Ugh. I guess these were made by, what do you call it, made to order. So that's the difference with him. And now there's another doll who is also open. I haven't really looked at her, but I did buy her from someone who had opened her once to take pictures and then put her back in. Another doll they were selling below retail. So not that I was skeptical or anything like that, but I was just excited because I could see that I wasn't worried. Let me just put it that way. It wasn't that too good to be true. So this is Chloe, and I have her counterpart named Grace. Grace is one of my favorites, and I think the only reason I ended up buying Chloe was because someone was selling her so cheap. This is the only, so this one is sold out on the website. It's a winter theme / Christmas doll. So it comes with a little snowman, snow person companion, and so she's got part of her outfit on, so that's kind of good because dressing dolls, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it's better than easier than others. So now I just have to find her slip band because, like I said, she's been dressed and photographed, and I like Grace better, but I do also like knowing that Grace now has her BFF when Christmas rolls around, and I can maybe, so here, anyway, here's how she looks coming out of the box. My first time seeing her too. I'm sure she'll look much better once I get her hair on. Her eyes are very, like a yellow, pale yellow, and I think that's what I loved about, part of what I loved about Grace more was that she has a deeper brownish yellow eye color. And I would have shown the Grace pieces a long time ago because they have the same outfit except hers is like a turquoisey color where Grace's is purple. But I don't display Grace in her winter outfit, just like I probably won't display her in this. But anyway, and these are her buckskin boots, which I now have 3 pairs of these because not only does Grace have the same pair, so does, her name's Stella. I think it's Stella. But there's like a Stella, an Ella, and a Bella. So I have a 33% chance of guessing which one is which. So anyway, they're really cute. They're really, really soft. And so I know that I have to concentrate on putting these boots on, no matter how much, I'm not just jinxing myself. So let me come back to you in a second. I think I actually like her enough in this winter outfit that I will keep her in it even for now. I like it. But I would say that if you can find Chloe, look at her name, I'm saying it right. If you could find her in new, unopened condition, or any of these dolls maybe, because you just never know how they were handled before. And I'm not trying to sound persnickety, but for one thing, I know dressing her felt different from when I dressed Grace in her outfit, because Grace was never removed from box. And so her tights, for one thing, are not very tight. They're more like baggies instead of loose or tights, you know what I mean? So they don't fit as nice. I don't think it'll be completely noticeable when she's up on display. But even if I pull them up as high as I can get them, they just kind of, they sag a little bit. And I don't know how she was stored, how long she was stored, but the blue of the jacket seems to have transferred to her hands. Just a little bit, just enough to make it look like she's been either out in the cold or out cold, if you know what I mean. So anyway, here she is now all dressed up. Oh, I almost knocked Nicholas over. And she's really precious. Her eyes may be a little bit too light of a yellow for some people. I'm looking on the monitor. She looks a lot less, she looks reptilian on the monitor, but she's cute and soft looking in person. But I like her. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like her compared to Grace. But I'm just saying there's something about the way Grace comes together. However, I think people would disagree with me because she's the one who sold out, like I said. And now for the last doll I'm going to show, it's really just show it, well, I'm going to open her because she's another doll I bought in the same kind of condition where she's already been used and she's been displayed. So I don't have to do much with her, I don't think. I hope. And her name is Winona. And I know she was, well, I think the reason she was sold so cheap, like any old doll that's sold under retail is cheap, but these dolls are expensive to begin with. So I think she was under 100. I don't remember exactly what now because I've had these dolls for so long, just sitting here waiting for me to open them up. Oh, that's her hat. I was like, what is this? I hope it didn't become misshapen because that is obviously one of the things I liked best about her. What is in here? Oh, okay, those are her boots. I knew this didn't have the box, at least in the pictures it didn't show in the box, and I think even the seller described it as having no box. But they didn't describe it as in they were going to send it with the hat all rolled up. But she's really cute. And I think because she's got the like a little cowgirl outfit, and I don't know, she's kind of like, oh, well, we say First Nations, but like she almost looks Native American / like a Native American dressed up in cowboy gear. I haven't even shown her to yet. I just want to get her kind of, make sure she looks okay before I bring her up. So there were two versions of this one, of this doll. One came with a violin, I believe, and one came without the violin. But I think they both came with a little toy dog. But it wasn't like, it wasn't an impressive looking dog in my opinion. It was just like how do I say it? It was almost, sorry, I'm trying to get her necklace to sit nicely, and then her wig's coming off. Oh, this is before they came out with the wig bands. It was just like an outline of a dog. It was very flat. I think it wasn't supposed to be a real dog. I think it was supposed to be like a dog toy that a kid would play with. And I still haven't showed her. You know what? Let me just show her, and then I'll try to fix her up a little bit. But anyway, she's really cute. She's the original Sibley's face. I don't know if I made it clear that she's a limited edition Sibley doll. Fan edition. So I think that means they have a fan design it. And it was a child who designed this one. And I'm kind of using that as a segue to talk about the next doll I'm waiting on is another fan edition, limited edition Sibley doll. And she's really cute. She's really detailed too. I'm like, she has really all these matching jewelry pieces, just in case you didn't notice. The necklace is not sitting right. It's just all, it's up, sitting up too high, but she's got the matching bracelets and then the matching belt buckle, and the buckle's on her little suede type of bag. So yeah, she's kind of interesting that she's, because when you think about an old game from the 1950s that kids used to play, which, because people used to call Native people Indians. So they used to be like cowboys and Indians, which I know is a very terrible game that has not aged well. So if you don't know what it is, don't look it up because you'll be disappointed. But she looks kind of both. She's like a native cowboy girl. And it looks like her boots are zip up in the back, fake leather. They've arrived in good shape, because you never know, as how would I say this? This is 3 dolls I opened. These are the only secondhand dolls I bought. Secondhand is in they were displayed and played with before. And she seems like she's in perfect condition. I don't care about that dog, so that's why I'm saying that. And like I said, she was cheap, very cute. And so now this is for them. And when I come back in my next unboxing, when I get the limited edition Sibley, Kyra, I think is her name, Kyra, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'll have 2 more dolls to open with her, but it's just like, as I said, my schedule has been, it's summer, so I'm sure we're all busy. So that's why I just had to get in as many out of the way as I could. And so if you stuck around this long, thank you for hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll see you soon in the next one.